All right, this looks pretty scuffed, but I do want to watch this video, so I'm just gonna watch this video and talk about it. Blizzard killed
What up, boys,
gold
and
making.
welcome
Let's see what
back
that
to
means.
yet another
It's high
video. So in
already.
today's video,
It's really
I
high.
mean, it doesn't come as a big
Turn it down a
surprise.
little
We're
bit.
going to talk about some absolute,
Turn it down a little bit.
actually
Keep it going.
massive news.
All right, we're leaving it there.
Blizzard. And it's
Massive
the fact
news.
that Blizzard released this information yesterday, stating that
cross-realm trading
comes with patch 10.15. So that's the 11th of July.
This is going to be a big deal. This is going to be a big deal, and I can't wait to see someone else's analysis on it.
And free trading to any realm within a region. The blue
This is
post
big
says
news.
that
This is a
players
big
will
news.
now be able to trade items and gold directly to characters on other realms in the region. Previously, this was limited to things like conjured items and raid and dungeon loot. But all cross-realm restrictions will be lifted. Play with your friends and trade whatever you want to, whenever you want to. So this is obviously massive, and I'm getting just bombarded with questions about this. So I'm gonna try to talk about my takes on this.
What do you
whole
think,
change.
Albatross?
Before we do that, though,
Wait, before we go into it. I honestly think this is not going to have a huge impact. I know it's going to impact us a lot. Whales are going to be able to migrate far and wide, which is going to impact us big time. I think it's going to murder black market auction house. I think it's going to murder little sub revenue sections, because the whales will move a ton of items and gold into that realm and sell it for cheaper than what you're used to. Oh, man, yeah, this is gonna have a huge impact. We're just gonna have to see, dude. Let's see what it.
So, big
excited.
thank you to every single one of you guys for picking up this 0 to 10 million gold guide.
Oh yeah,
Support has
gold
since
guide.
This book
Check
was
that
released
out.
almost 3 years ago. The support has been insane, and this
Dude, I
book
should
is
put
now
out a gold
over
guide.
180 pages long, and it features the best gold.
I don't think I have
tactics
180
methods that I
pages. It would be
personally
page 1.
use in order to
Garrison's.
achieve multiple gold caps. Best part
It'd be
about
pretty
it is the
straightforward.
fact that you do get every single update done to the guide for free, sent directly to your mail. So whenever there is a new like patch or expansion, I update the book and I send that updated version to your mail. And for all of the people that do have the gold guide, and if you enjoy it, you're definitely going to enjoy the VIP Discord as well. It comes with a bunch
VIP
of
Discord,
exclusive,
also a good idea.
content. You can read
I'll
more
just take
about
all
it
those
in the
ideas
links
here.
down below in the
Just pass them
description.
off.
So the changes, how is
Yeah,
it going to
tell me
affect
changes,
gold
dude.
making in general? I mean, I've said since day one when
Day
they
one.
announced the news of region-wide materials and commodities on the auction house that
Region-wide materials and commodities was a huge deal. Region-wide auction house was a huge deal, and now it's completely unlocked with all items and all gold. I mean, it's sounding worse and worse and worse. I don't think it's going to kill gold making, but it's gonna hurt.
Blizzard wants everything to have no restrictions. If Blizzard could add like every single item on the auction house be region-wide, they would, but the infrastructure on the auction house, it wouldn't handle it. Like, I'm not sure if you guys remember on the PTR and even early days when they implemented region-wide materials, like that alone made the auction house crash. Blizzard had to put like an action throttle on the auction house, so it slows down the auction house after an X amount of posts or cancel scans, because the auction house can't handle that many actions. It lags. It breaks the auction house. So if Blizzard can find a fix for that and tune up the auction house, they will do it. Like, that's the direction they're going for, and I understand why. Because with something
Why is he
like
talking
this,
about the
you're
infrastructure of the
satisfying the
auction house?
majority of the
I
player
guess it
base.
matters
It's going to
because
give
that's
way
he's saying
more
that's
supply
restricting it.
to the auction house.
Not so
Prices
sure.
like on materials, for instance, will always be available, and they will be at a relatively decent price. So it's
Yeah, I
just
agree with
for the
that.
average
Materials are
dude
gonna
just
go down
playing the
fast.
game, not really caring about gold
Anything
making,
that is popular
makes
is going to go
sense.
down
You
fast.
also, with this change,
Those mount
eliminate
sales
a lot
may
of
never come back
third-party
now,
communities that does like
because people can
gold
just
swaps
mail
and
mounts
so
to
on.
any
So,
server. That's a horrible realization. The mount sales may never come back. because now they can just be mailed to any server and unloaded.
It's interesting, but like, how do I
I
feel
hate
about
that.
it? Will it break gold farming? It's impossible to precisely predict an outcome when you have such a massive change like this. It really is.
All right, so he's feeling the same struggle I am. It's going to impact us in a large way, but it's really hard to analyze how.
But I think there's some cons and some also some pros to this. First of all,
Yeah, what are
if
the
you get a
pros, brother?
really rare item like a super item,
A
it's
super
gonna be
rare.
easier to sell it. Sure, someone, if they really wanted your super item that you spend the 2,000
Who's
runs in old
making
demand obtaining, and somebody really wanted to buy it,
that is not the market that should be helped by these things. These changes should be helping the global market and the global group, not the 1% of the 1%. The super rare items should not be the driving factor of changes like this. Global market, for example, drove all the prices down. That helped the average player. It hurt the goblins. It helped the average player. I'm all for it. It was a good move in that sense.
they would move gold to a new realm, purchase the appearance, and then possibly move back. But like,
I don't
only
like
a
that.
handful of people could be asked to do that because it's a
Yeah, exactly.
process. While right now, you can literally just go on a website like Oribo's Exchange, search up and see where the item is,
Orbos.
make an alt, send the gold to the alt, purchase the item on that realm. So I do think that selling farmed transmog items will be way, way, way easier to move.
Interesting.
Also, in terms of prices,
Transmog farmers? Yeah, I can see it. People sending gold to buy transmog to resell on a different server. I could see that happening. So transmog could actually increase in value because you'll get more sales because there's a wider net of demand.
I feel like if you play on a high pop or a full pop realm with already prices
For the sword
below
mount, I want that
the
bad.
region average, you could experience an increased amount of sales because people are already right now moving to really high populated realms like my realm to buy cheap transmog, and then they move it to a realm with lesser population on and higher prices,
There you go.
and they sell it for profit. So you could see a lot of avid collectors move over to these full pop realms with higher prices, looking to purchase cheap like
I wonder if
transmog
his
that they're
gnome gets
missing.
spit on like my gnomes.
So that's really cool. Like, I
Who's
don't
out there
really
spitting
mind
on
that
gnomes
because I
too,
play
by
on
the
a
way?
full pop and I have a lot of items.
Don't do that.
But then there's a lot of other things that comes into play as well. Like what worries me the most is that people with a lot of time on their hands, they can also make a shit ton of gold, right?
Hey, that's okay. People that want to put the time in should be able to profit off of the time and investment made in the game.
They're going to be able to
Where you
outbeat
going
even
with this
me because
albatross?
I don't spend that many hours on WoW in a week that a lot of people think I do. But if
Yeah,
you
me
have,
either.
let's
I'm
say,
still
I do
okay with
have
that. You should be
a
okay with that.
crafting team. I craft every single transmog item in the game, pretty much, with some
Whoa,
exceptions, right?
that's
So
wild.
right now, when the patch hits, I could craft, and
Spends
I do
all
have
day just
enough
posting.
gold to craft like 20 of each transmog item and send those transmog items to every single decent populated realm. Now, in the past, you would have to make new characters on new realms, level the professions, acquire the
Okay.
patterns and the plans all over again on that new realm, and then you could start selling crafted transmog.
Oh no, this is gonna murder the price of Sands of Time because there's gonna be people that are willing to sell the dragon mount for Sands of Time very cheap, and they will just shift it around the entire realm. I don't think the rare mounts are going to come back from this. I don't think the rare crafted items will come back from this either. I think it's going to drive down the competition. The demand will stay relatively the same, but the competition is going to exponentially
On that
just
realm as well.
increase.
Now, you don't really have to. You just need to have all the patterns and plans of one realm,
That's sad.
craft the items, send it over to another full pop or high pop realm, and you get all the time in the world to post these and undercut scan, and like the people with a lot of time on their hands with the correct setup could easily make a shit ton of gold. Um, there's also going to be a lot of
The right setup.
opportunity though,
I like
because
that.
right now people that enjoy flipping are going to have the time of their life, because right now you can purchase mounts, for instance. Like if you play on a full pop realm, you can go and check out the prices on, let's say, BFA mounts, and they are going to be 50,000 gold on one realm, and there are going to be hundreds of thousands of gold on another realm.
You
So I
said the
think
same
there's some
boat.
good investments if you make the right call and the right predictions. There's going to be some interesting gold
No. The
to
answer
be
is
made
no
as
to what
well.
he's saying
If
there.
you
It's going to be a one-time thing. Once this goes live, you could make a boatload of money by making the right prediction. More likely is you're going to lose. Don't make that prediction, because you will not be smarter than the entire realm population. Hard stop. Hard stop. It's too much competition. Don't fight your competition where they're the strongest. And if you're fighting stupid, they'll drag you down and beat you with experience.
you get an item and you're not happy with the price on your realm, you can literally just send it to another realm, sell it on that realm.
Don't
Once you
do
get the
this.
gold, you're not
This is a
stuck
bad
with
move.
the gold on that realm. You can just send it back to your main realm. There's
That's true.
also, and probably the most interesting thing about this, in my opinion, is the fact that it's going to be easier to make gold on like a certain markets if you control the market, if you find the niche, because you can literally let's take an example of what I'm doing right now, running around on my warlock killing
Yeah, what are you
the
doing,
mobs
dude?
for the seal tomb of lost legion. Now you can
Just
do
killing
this
rares.
like constantly, and it doesn't matter how many you get, because you can just send them out to every single realm.
This is bad information too, because people with lots of time on their hands is really like Chinese bots. How is the price of herbs on your server, for example, or those things that can be botted relatively easy? Do you believe that the players with a lot of time will be able to use their time more efficiently than a botting service? I don't. I believe bots will murder these markets because the demand for botting and the demand for these items will just increase, and the value for those things will increase. So don't spend your time fighting bots. That's time not well spent
On EU or NA and make
for
your gold
sales or
just on
anything.
that.
Just
You
don't
can
fight
go on a
automation.
rogue and you can pickpocket for
Fight somewhere
dice
else.
and just sell it on 20 different realms. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff like that that you can do, because a lot of people complain about auctions moving slowly in the past, and that's just how it is. Like, you're able to farm faster than things sell, especially with collectibles. But
No.
right now, you really have no
Don't
excuse. You
do
just keep
that.
on
It's
farming, keep
bad
on posting it
advice.
on
Don't
more and
do it,
more realms,
please.
and you'll
Do
notice
not
that you
fight
will get
with
a lot
bots. You will
more
lose that
sales.
fight.
So that's really cool. I'm also interested to see what happened to stuff like Black Market Auction House, because for like
Yes.
eight
Black
years
market
now,
auction house
I've
is
been
going to get
having to
rough.
move gold caps over to dead realms to be able to purchase Black Market Auction House containers for a reasonable price. But right now, people need to do a server transfer with gold. They can just like send gold to which.
I would be willing to say they do something about black market auction house. If they're making everything else realm wide, why would they not increase black market auction house and make that realm wide as well? Um, I'm sure it's on their short list of items to adjust and make changes to.
whichever realm the Black Market Auction House containers is on, and see if they can get it and buy it on whatever realm, right? Whatever, wherever you can get it the cheapest. Same thing goes if you want like a Swift Sulian Tiger on the Black Market Auction House. You can just
Ooh,
wait
Swift
and
Sulian.
see which realm it's up on, send gold cap to that
Everything
realm,
rare is
boom, a
going to go
big
for gold
gold
cap.
cap. You're not reliant on having gold on the realm. So
Number one thing you don't fight, bots. Number two thing you don't fight, whales. Whales are going to have way more gold than you do, and they're going to be able to shift it around. And that item that you want for a good price on your black market auction house is going to be sniped by a whale.
That's also going to be very, very interesting. But like I've always said this a lot. I know that a lot of gold farmers are looking at this, like these news at a negative angle.
Yeah.
But my motto has always been any change is a good change, right?
No.
Because you don't want the game to become stale. You will always
Well,
find a way
I see what he means.
to find some sort of edge to take advantage from the news. And I definitely see there being a lot of ups from this change, and I really understand
No,
why they're
I
doing
don't.
it, because it's just a way.
Also,
I
why'd
think
you
that
name your
you'll even be able
video
to play
Blizzard Killed
EU
Gold
and
Making?
NA people can play
This
together
is a
in the
total trap.
future.
This is a
That's
total
the
clickbait.
direction that they're moving towards. So yeah, I feel like there's going to be a lot of people.
Total clickbait. Blizzard. Blizzard. Classic Blizzard. Killed Gold Making. But also, I like to look at it in a positive light. Come on, brother.
Who struggle to get sales in the past that can now just expand and sell it on multiple realms are going to find an easier time moving their auctions. And I also think that there's a
Yeah,
lot of clever
auctions
people
will move
watching this
faster
video
for
that will
less
be
amount.
able to just dominate a certain market, right? A
No,
certain toy, a certain transmog item
no.
from like different loot.
If you're trying to dominate the market, you're going to have to dominate with a razor thin profit margin. You're not going to be able to dominate it with a large profit margin because, again, you're competing with the entire realm. You're competing with those bots. Your profit margin will be so thin. Mounts, for example, right now are razor thin because nobody's using them. It's going to get even more thin because there's going to be somebody on a server 10 servers away from you that only wants 100 gold profit. Will spend 35,000 gold to make 100 gold. You can't compete with that, or you shouldn't compete with that.
Sources you can literally do let's say you do Selitus only. It's the only transmog farm you do. But every time when you're done with an hour of farming, you just send it to a different realm each time. So you can sell glories like some 20 different realms. You can do a Sludge Fen, very popular gold farm. And
Sludge fan.
after every hour, you just send it to a different, decent populated realm. So there's a lot of ways that you can make gold with this change. It's going to be super interesting to see. But of course, it's extremely hard to predict exactly how the prices are going to move and whatnot. But yeah, I think it's going to be a cool, interesting change. And very interesting that it's coming in this patch together with the massive transmog changes with Noxramas and Skolemans and so on. So that's really cool. I'm excited. But please let me know what you think about the changes.
All right. Overall, he's got some good insight in there. There's a good analysis in there too. It's going to drive down prices on everything across the board. It's good to think about, it's good to consider it, but ultimately it's going to reflect similar to how the global market hit us. Global market drove all prices to the floor. Because like I said, there's going to be someone on 10 servers over that wants a razor thin market and they want to dominate that market and sell 1,000 items for 5 gold profit. It just drops all of the profitability all the way down. The average player wins. The average player will be able to buy things for cheaper and have a better time. So it's really bad for gold makers. However, we're going to survive. Gold makers are crafty. We're going to figure out ways to do it. Whether you like it or not, we're going to make that gold. And if you make it on your server or the next server or the server over, we'll figure it out. So I'm not too worried about this. Albatross tricked me a little bit. I thought this was going to be doom and gloom. It's not doom and gloom. He's positive about it. He's hopeful about it. I don't agree with him on, competing with bots and the bot times and how if there's a demand for an item, there will be an automated process to gain those items, and the profit of you doing your farm will just go down. So the time that you spend in the game, don't spend that where a bot would do it 10 times more and not sleep and not be hungry and just operate and sell your item for way cheaper. It just diminishes the value of time you have in the game. Um, Ultimately, we're going to have to see what happens with this patch. It's going to be huge. And the first week is going to be insane. There's going to be lots of shifts moving around and lots of things being bought out and being resold and being bought out and being resold. Unless you have whale money, don't play whale games and let that market settle. Um, that's the best thing I can say. I'm I'm stunned that this change is coming. It just seems to be expanding. All the markets seem to be expanding into a global sense, and we'll see where that goes. And goblins will find a way.